Hey, Shalom Akim. First and foremost, give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Kodesh. Double honors under the Elders Apostles Great Millstone, the Elders Great Millstone, and of course, peace and blessings under the hopeful elect, the sincere servants of Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, serving in truth and sincerity. Yes, on the brother Chayabel from G-Men's Plank Tables Camp. Come back with another lesson to the spirit. Yes, so this lesson be based off of this article from nationalnews.com, which is entitled, it says, Russia and Iran deepen military alliance, sharing drone tech and intelligence against the U.S. And as we already know, of course, this thing is getting worse. Again, there's news every day about this war, showing you obviously the times that we are in. Yahushua already warned us, what the end times will look like. And one of the things that he said when the disciples asked him what the end times would look like, he said that there's going to be wars and rumors of wars. So without a doubt, we are in those times. You go across the news, what goes into Putin reaffirms Russia-Iran alliance in Nowruz message. It also says Putin declares support for Iran as Trump. Click this real quick. Yeah, Putin declares support for Iran as Trump targets Hormuz. Or like it says, as Trump allies target Hormuz. So, as we can see again, this alliance is deepening, as the article says. And again, it's all privacy. It says Moscow provides Iran with advanced satellite imagery, drone upgrades, and tactical battlefield insights, enhancing Tehran's precision strikes against U.S. forces in the Middle East. Russia's intelligence sharing mirrors U.S. support for Ukraine, turning the Middle East into a high-stakes battleground where Iran employs Russian-style swarm drones, swarm drone tactics against U.S. defenses. The alliance boosts Moscow's geopolitical leverage, increases oil prices due to regional instability, and diverts U.S. resources away from Ukraine, strengthening Russia's position in its broader conflict with the West. Tehran refuses direct talks under U.S. pressure while Russia offers mediation to elevate its global standing, but Washington rejects it, opting instead for military reinforcement in the Persian Gulf as Iran activates air defenses near nuclear sites. It says Trump's potential military strikes on Iran risk fracturing his anti-war voter base, while unchecked escalation could trigger a wider regional conflict, further entrenching the Russia-Iran axis against U.S. influence. So, again, man, this isn't slowing down. Trump, of course, he said he's trying to pull back now, or apparently that's what's in the news. Ultimately things will keep on ramping up. And even if things, I guess will slow down a little bit, again, things are still going to keep on ramping up. Things are never going to go back to normal as people think they are. Why? Because it's all privacy. Yahushua said, again, we'll know that we are at the end times. Well, when it's wars, rumors of wars, famines, pestilences, earthquakes, in diverse places, without a doubt, we are in those times. The beginning of sorrows, as scripture is going to. So, the beginning of sorrows means that, again, it's only going to get worse. The sorrows are not going to end. So, get them real quick. Jeremiah 50. Because, ultimately, while Russia coming up against America, it's all prophecy. It says, Jeremiah 59, for lo, I'll raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country. Yeah, and we know, of course, that north country, well, first and foremost, Babylon and great, is America. And no, this isn't speaking about ancient Babylon, this is speaking about the modern day Babylon. Because as we're about to read it, the judgment that this Babylon is about to catch, obviously the ancient Babylon didn't receive the same judgment. But really, what this is referring to the future Babylon, which is America, which, we are in future Babylon. So it says, verse 9, for lo, I'll raise and cause to come up against Babylon and assembly agrarian nations from the North Country. So the North Country, of course, is Russia, and assembly agrarian nations is a Russian federation. It says, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. The arrow should be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. What meaning? Ultimately, those arrows, what them setting themselves in array against her, meaning that Babylon will be surrounded by these other nations. It says, from thence she shall be taken. The arrows should be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. So those arrows are symbolic onto those nuclear missiles. Onto the nuclear missiles, that's what the arrows symbolize. So it says the arrows should be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. Because obviously, this is speaking about literal bow and arrow. Again, it's prophetic. You can't shoot a literal bow and arrow from thousands of miles away from another country. Again, so we know it's symbolic onto those nuclear missiles, the ICBMs, hypersonic missiles. We know, of course, they keep on upgrading this technology. Ultimately, it's the spirit power of Yahweh Bashmi Shai that's within these other nations, what to keep on upgrading these their technology, their military and technology. It says the arrow should be as of a mighty expert man, none shall return in vain. So what mighty expert man? Because we know, of course, these missiles have a highly advanced targeting system. We going through how it was already advanced for decades, but again, it keeps on getting better. Now, what AI is playing a huge part within these wars. What we just read how, or basically very recently, you had an article going into how the U.S. has, as they say, finally, for the first time, used AI within a war. Again, and that's according to them, but basically within this Iran war, what they used AI within it, Anthropic, Claude AI, that's what they used. So, again, it's gonna keep on upgrading until the nuclear war breaks out. The climax of World War III, because we are in the beginning stages of World War III. So going back to the article, it says Russia has significantly expanded its military and intelligence cooperation with Iran, providing Tehran with advanced satellite imagery and upgraded drone technology to enhance its targeting of U.S. forces in the Middle East. According to sources familiar with the matter, this deepening alliance underscores Moscow's strategy of bolstering Iran as a key partner in its broader confrontation with the U.S. and Israel, while prolonging a conflict that benefits Russia both militarily and economically. So there you have it. So again, it's all prophecy. It says verse 10, and Chaldea should be a spoil, all that spoil her should be satisfied. Yeah, back in Jeremiah 50. And 10 read again, it says, and Chaldea should be a spoil, all that spoil her should be satisfied. Saith the Lord Yahweh. So again, referring onto the same place. As we know, of course, the scriptures sometimes will speak in twos and threes, but still referring onto the same place. So Babylon, Chaldea, again referring onto the same place, which is Babylon the Great, which is America. So what the point is that this prophecy, the scripture also going to the Medes. We know symbolically. Ultimately, you go into the ancient location of the Medes, and you look it up today. It's in that area, of course, of Russia. Basically, in that area. So we know ultimately the Medes is speaking about Russia. That's what links up onto or to today in the modern times. So, when you look up a map, the Medes are, of course, around that area. If you look up an ancient map, the ancient Medes. But so we know the modern day Medes, again, links up onto, of course, the Russians. So again, this isn't going to stop. Let's go ahead and get real quick. It says Luke 21:10. or let's start at verse 7. It says, and they asked him, saying, Master, but when shall these things be? What should be, what sign will there be when these things shall come to pass? And he said, take heed that you be not deceived, for many shall come on my name, saying, I am a Mashiach, and the time draweth near. Go ye not after them. But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be ye not terrified, for these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by. Meaning, of course, that we're still waiting on the implementation of the mark of the beast. Just because we see, these news articles and basically, on these different wars and rumors of wars, doesn't mean that War 3 is going to break out in the next hour, the climax of it. No, ultimately, we're still waiting on the implementation of the mark of the beast. Once that happens, then obviously, after that, that's when, of course, the nuclear war is going to begin. And we know, of course, what that implementation of the mark of the beast is coming swiftly. So again, all of these things are coming together quickly. As the scriptures say, the Lord is shortening the days for the elect's sake. So, and we're hastening in the day, as the scriptures going to, the hasten the day. And we understand that these things need to happen in order for Yahushua to make his return. So, of course, we're hastening in these prophecies to come to pass. It says, verse 10, then said he unto them, nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And great earthquakes shall be in divers places, and famines and pestilences, and fearful sights. Great signs shall there be from heaven. Yeah, so ultimately going into whether there's going to be civil war, Egyptian against Egyptian, as scriptures say. So not only external wars, but also internal wars there's going to be. So yeah, the point is that we are in the end times without a doubt. So again, everything is coming together. But yeah, just a quick one through the spirit. Just want to bring it out real quick. Again, a lot of things are happening. And again, things aren't slowing down. So those are you brothers out there edified. Yahweh Bashim Yahshai, Bashim Kakura, Shpakathum. Shalom.